Hello friends and neighbors. Thank you for joining me for this program designed to look at our government, how it operates, and the people responsible for its operation. My name is Dan Armin, your host of I Want to Know. Welcome to the show, and I'd like to extend a warm welcome to the town of North Branford's Library Director, Lauren Davis.
Thanks for having me.
Hello, how are you?
Great, thanks for having me.
Thank you for joining me today. Well, why don't you tell me about you?
Sure. I grew up in North Branford. I can say that I've lived on both ends of town, so I can't pledge allegiance to one or the other.
You can pledge allegiance to the town. We're one.
That is true.
One
We're
town,
one
town.
People. I went through the school system here. I graduated from North Branford High School, and then I went on to the University of Rhode Island for my undergraduate degree in American history.
Oh, all right.
And I soon realized that what I loved most about American history was the studying and the research of it and uncovering different bits of information. I knew I did not want to teach. I think the best part about it was just the digging for the information. And when I graduated with my degree in American history, I thought, oh, now what am I going to do?
Right. How can I research further?
Yeah, what can I do to make this a career to not panic my parents any further after spending all that money?
She's got to earn money eventually.
That is right. So part of the degree completion at URI for American history was to do a 2-semester course where you write a 50-page thesis. The first semester, you do the research, pick a topic, spend a lot of time in the library.
Sure.
Second semester, you actually write the paper. So
what was your subject matter?
It was, so the course was in the 1920s, and it was on the Leopold and Loeb murder case. It was 2 wealthy Chicago students who murdered a 14-year-old boy, and it had this element of intellectual superiority where they thought they could pull off the perfect crime. It was known as the crime of the century, and Clarence Darrow was their defense attorney. And so it was just studying that case and how it was reflected in the papers. It was a lot of primary resource research, which was fun, kind of.
Looking back.
Yeah.
I mean, that must have been very intriguing.
It was a great combo of studying a very specific part of history and then uncovering all these newspaper articles.
Would you get a collateral view of how things were in this country in the in the 20s?
It kind of was a very under a microscope of people's views of the time.
And the papers reflected all of that.
Yeah, it was very interesting. So after writing that paper and spending so much time in the library, it influenced my decision to go to get my master's degree in library and information science at Southern. Okay.
And did you get a job in town right after that, or did you do something beforehand? Or in the interim, I should say.
So while I was going to Southern, I worked part-time at the Yale Sterling Memorial Library, which was great. That was also a nice way of looking at history and all the different architecture. It was wonderful. But then when I graduated...
Is that an architecture library?
That's just their general library,
I see,
but the architecture of the building itself is gorgeous. So after I graduated, I wasn't sure what track I wanted to take. You take the academic librarian track, public library, special library. So I approached Bob Hull, actually, looking to volunteer just to gain experience, to figure out what I wanted to do. And
he was thinking, well, I've been here for 40-some years. Maybe I have a good candidate here.
I don't think at that point, no. Because the funny story is, prior to all that, I had applied for a part-time job and didn't get it. Okay. So I contacted him just looking for volunteer experience, doing anything, try to immerse myself in a library, in a working environment. And it was about that time that one of the staff members unfortunately became really sick, and during her leave of absence, Bob asked if I wanted to fill in, which I did, and I am always forever grateful for that experience. It provided me with a lot of experience, but it also confirmed that I loved working in a public library. So that was nice, and it actually led me to the Killingworth Library, which is where I was for 12 years prior to coming to North Branford.
Wow, okay.
So it's always nice being able to network with people and be able to bounce ideas off of people and rely on other people who know and want to share their knowledge.
And plus, you're in a special position, I would imagine, because you live in town, you grew up here, so it's a way for you to really interact with the community.
Yeah.
And then there's a lot of people here with intense knowledge of the community's past, and where we've come. So that must be a really good opportunity for you too.
There's a lot of great people in this town who are willing to share their information, and I took full advantage of it. So
Right.
it was a great experience. I always will treasure it and appreciate it. And I honestly think more people need to do that type of experience where you rely on somebody else to show you, kind of like an apprentice, I guess. Just to get out there and observe rather than just expecting you can go right into a career. So I took a lot of beneficial information from that.
Right.
Yeah.
Why don't you explain for the people what a library director does?
Okay. Well, I'll start with what a librarian.
And I can help you. We're not editing anything, so let me just help you get comfortable here. Did that help? If that's bothering you, just let me know.
You want me to hold it like this?
No, that's
Okay.
fine. Whatever is best for you.
I'll start with what a librarian does. I think one of the core responsibilities of a librarian is to empower people with the knowledge by providing them with access to information and services to help improve and enhance their lives. That's basically what we're trying to do. How can we improve or enhance? I always tease my sister that she's a registered nurse, that she saves lives and I enrich lives.
Enhance them, yes.
And that's really what it is all about, I think, trying to enrich, enhance, improve, make it better, whether it's through teaching or entertainment or inspiration. And we're always striving to meet those information needs of the people in the community, and then we're always looking towards ways to inspire and innovate. So that's what I think a librarian's main goal is. And then there's just the daily tasks of research advisory, reference, circulation, collection maintenance, weeding, just to make that main focus happen.
And help everything facilitate it all.
I mean, our main purpose is to help you. One of the reasons I got into this profession, and it's such a simple reason, is I like to help people.
Right.
I like to have them come to me with a need and be able to meet that need or answer a question they have. I take a lot of pleasure in it, and I know it sounds very basic, but sometimes the simplest acts have the biggest impact, and I happen to take a lot there's pleasure in that.
That's wonderful. We're lucky to have that.
I enjoy it a lot. So as a library director, though, there's more involved with personnel management, making sure the staff, communicating with the staff. Since we do have the 2 libraries in town, it's a little bit more unique since not everybody's always under the same roof.
Do you commute?
I do.
Okay.
Yep, I do. I try to be at both libraries each day, just a little bit, since the Smith Library has a full-time staff that's dedicated just to the Smith Library, and the Atwater full-time staff has a staff dedicated just to the Atwater Library.
Okay.
And the part-time staff will rotate between the 2 libraries.
Wherever the need may be at the time.
So
how many staff members do you have?
There are 6 full-time staff members, including myself, full-time librarians, and then there are currently 9 part-time people. We are in the process of hiring 1 more part-time person.
Okay, so 14, 15 people. Yeah. Okay.
And our custodian. Can't forget our custodian.
No, so then 15 people. So now he does both. He commutes between both libraries.
Yep.
What is your budget?
My budget is $683,000.
Okay.
Bulk of which is spent on salaries.
Okay.
The next biggest item is our materials budget, where we focus on improving our collections, whether it's print resources, movies, audio. One thing we're trying to focus on now is online electronic resources. I know some people say that
Online. What would online electronic resources be?
So ebooks, downloadable audiobooks.
We don't have that.
We do.
Okay.
We do, but we're
But you're just trying to
to
expand that.
increase
Okay.
it.
Okay.
So
very
currently
good.
we offer ebooks and e-audio books through Overdrive, e-magazines, but we're looking to expand a little bit further. We have subscriptions now to a service called Hoopla, which is a digital media service where you can download movies, TV shows, ebooks,
awesome.
audiobooks. We have a subscription service to lynda.com, which is an online educational course catalog of 6,000 courses just related to technology. Ooh. So rather than going and buying a book on an iPhone, you can, watch either a 7-minute video all the way to a, few-hour course. And it's like a YouTube video, but they're vetted and they're edited and they're reliable.
So when it comes to, I have never rented an ebook, or how does that work?
Thank you for admitting that. Some people won't even admit it.
No, I'm very transparent, as you'll see. I'm an open book. Speaking of, so I've rented books before, but not ebooks. How does somebody rent an ebook from the library?
So you have to have a library card.
Okay.
And then you need either a tablet or a phone or
A device in which
a
to
certain
utilize
device.
it.
Yep. And it's just like you search the catalog like you would for a print material, and then you check it out. You do need certain apps, which would be something you would
You'd have to
like
load.
an initial setup.
Okay.
And then it's a one-time thing. Once you have that all set up, you just check it out, download it,
And you have
then
a period
can
of
view it.
time for which
Right.
to use it.
Yeah. It's
Okay.
usually I think 14 days is the maximum.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's an incredible resource.
It's a convenient resource, and I think that's what we're trying to make. We've realized people have busy schedules, and trying to accommodate. If you want a book at midnight, you can get it now.
Yeah, that's
Library's
amazing.
obviously not open at midnight, but we're trying to be more focus-minded on the convenience for people and accommodating what they're looking for. And we have the technology, so why not use it?
Well, right, but you're just taking your libraries, which are a fixed footprint, but you've expanded them immensely, though.
Sure, and that's what we're hoping to do.
Yeah. How do you facilitate collaboration amongst your personnel, and then how do you look for all these resources? How do you find these resources? Like these resources that enable people like me to.
I rely
get it.
heavily on people's recommendations. I mean, obviously we collaborate with other librarians and different vendors, and we're exposed to these things. But what do people in our community want? And I'm always a fan of, if you make a suggestion, I will look into it. And that's how, honestly, Lynda came about. Lots of people, they want to know how to hook up their new iPhone. And you can look at a tutorial course on Lynda and do that. I think it's a nice way of continuing your education without having to go through
Education,
Yes.
formal education.
Yes.
Right.
So that's one way that we try to listen to the community and think about what their needs are and how we can go about meeting those needs.
Do you have a library board, correct?
We do. It's a 5-member board. They're more of an advisory capacity.
Okay.
But I definitely rely on them for their input and suggestions, and definitely different ways of looking at things. One of the board members is the school librarian, the school media specialist, Michelle Eligio. So she sees what goes on in the library world, even though it's from the school environment. She knows, the trends, the concerns, the issues that are faced, in a library, even though it's in a school library, but that can translate into a public library, certainly.
Sure,
So.
sure. Do you join the same resources like Lynda in those type of resources?
For the school?
Yeah.
No, I think they have more specific age-related resources. it's probably something we should collaborate more on, especially in terms of what the curriculum is of the school, so that we're prepared when the kids come in and say, I have this assignment, or I have
Everybody's looking for the same history book.
Yes, I have this summer reading list I'm supposed to be using. Do you have this book? It would be very nice.
It's not even August. You have nothing to worry about for another 3 weeks. It's fine.
Okay.
I know how kids are.
Come August, I don't know when school goes back.
Crunch time.
Okay, yeah, we'll
Should be prepared.
We'll panic. We won't panic now. Okay.
Are you working on any specific projects? What are you working on?
Well, we're trying to update more of our online presence, our technology. We were in a position where we were able to buy all new PCs. Previously, we had Macs, and I just felt that they intimidated a lot of people coming in. I didn't think people were as familiar with Macs as they are to PCs. So we had the opportunity to buy all new PCs for both libraries, which was really nice. Updating technology, updating our wireless access so that when people come in and bring in their own devices, they can hop right on. Or they want to sit out in the parking lot, they can hop right on.
Okay.
So that's nice. We're working on a new website design, trying to make it more user-friendly, easier to navigate. I think websites are our first point of contact for a lot of people, especially when you're looking up a catalog.
Sure.
So we're trying to make that more content-driven.
And plus, people that work all day may not have the ability to get to the library when it's open.
So, what time is this program? And trying to put as much information on there and making it an easy point of access for us.
Do you collaborate with any other departments other than the schools?
We rely on a lot of other departments.
Right, sure.
What's nice about this town is I've never run into a department, especially as a newcomer. I came in with a lot of questions. My previous library was an association library, but now that this is a municipal library,
What's the difference?
Municipal library is under the jurisdiction of the town. An association library is not a town library, so it's
like a regional. Is it a
I guess it's like a private. So the board is responsible for raising a significant amount of money. It doesn't come from
the town coffers. Okay.
Right. So, and they can govern a little bit differently.
Okay.
Whereas a municipal library, like all our bills are paid through the finance department. Thankfully, they manage our accounts.
Sure.
They're a wonderful group of ladies in there, and Anthony.
Yes.
Public Works helps maintain our properties and keep us looking
wonderful,
pristine. The rec center and the senior center, they come over and use our library. They do little field trips. They come over and do the movie matinees that we have. So it's nice to be able to rely on other departments and kind of have that collaborative relationship.
Right, and then you bounce off ideas with them as well.
Yeah,
I would assume.
These departments are a wealth of knowledge that it's nice to tap into.
So what other specific projects are you focusing on now?
Right now we're kind of just full focus summer reading program. I have to be honest, it's a big time for the libraries. Debbie at the Smith Library, she's the children's librarian, and Donna at the Atwater Library, they do a lot of planning. They have a lot of programming that they try to offer to the kids, and they really do a great job of working to keep kids involved in the summer and focused on reading and coming to the library.
Some of my fondest memories of when my daughter was really young is we would go to the reading, we would have reading days at the libraries. And then also, on bad weather days, I would take my daughter to the library and we'd just play checkers.
Yeah.
Or chess on the table, and I love that.
I love to see people just come in and read the paper or relax or chit chat. There's a lot of people that come in because we're the only point of contact they'll have with another person, especially in the wintertime.
Right, especially in the bad weather.
Yeah, so
it was always just a nice resource. The fact that you guys were open was really wonderful for us, I thought.
I think...
and then we always got into reading other stuff, or playing games or whatever.
Not coming in there for a specific purpose is perfectly fine.
Yeah.
I think people don't realize that They feel like they have to come in and look for something, take something out. You don't have to. You can sit in a chair and read a magazine or a newspaper if you want to. That's what we're there for.
But I think I may have interrupted you. So you're talking about other things you're focusing on. So you're focusing on summer reading.
Summer reading programs. Yep, they have just about every day something going on, which is nice to keep the kids interested. And they work within a theme. So the theme this year is Libraries Rock.
Okay.
So they're trying
Which they do.
Which they do. So they're trying to do programs from working with the Regional Water Authority to Mystic Aquarium to magic show, cartoons, in addition to their regular toddler times and tots and tunes.
Right,
so,
toddler time, that's what it was called.
Yeah.
It's been a
They're
while.
They're busy, and it's nice to see kids coming in and their parents coming in, because a lot of times parents haven't been to the library in a while, since they were kids.
Right.
So it's a nice way of bringing
Back when we had
them
card
back.
catalog files.
Yes, we do
Things
have a
have
card
changed.
catalog, but now it's on a computer.
Right, it's not the
My
little
job's a lot
index card
easier.
anymore. Yeah.
We were just talking about that. It's easier now.
It's history. You don't need the staff that you needed back then.
Well, we're repurposed, I guess
Right,
we
there you
can
go.
say.
Yeah,
How's
there you
that?
What are the pressing issues of the library system, do you think? Our
I
libraries?
honestly think we're working hard to change people's perceptions of libraries. I'm not sure.
Exposure, are you saying, or?
I think people come in, if they haven't been in a while, and there's almost this intimidation factor. They're intimidated to approach the desk because they remember a library as a hushed environment where, I might fine you for doing something wrong or bringing something back late. And that's
Like a punitive place.
Right, and that's not what we want. That's not what we're about. We're trying to make it a friendly atmosphere where we'll do what we can to help you. Tell us what you need, and we'll do our best to meet that need. And I can see when someone approaches the desk who hasn't been to the library in a very long time, and they kind of almost, I haven't been here, and they whisper, and that's, yes.
And now the person at the desk is saying, what? I can't hear you.
And it pains me because I don't want the library to be that. It's a community place where it's your library. Come in and use it. Mm-hmm. We are working for you. Tell us what you want.
Do you have events throughout the year, throughout the summer?
There are ongoing events, especially the summer reading programs, definitely.
Okay.
That goes usually from June until August. For the adult departments year-round, there are always ongoing programs. There's a cookbook club, there's a Lyme support group, there's movie matinees that the Smith Library shows.
Oh.
There's a foreign film club that meets monthly. There's a book club that meets at Atwater.
Is this on Facebook or Twitter or Instagram or
trying
website type stuff?
to be better about promoting ourselves.
Okay.
I think that's where we lack a little bit in terms of promotion. But that goes along with the website design. Once we kind of have everything in one place and we can just push stuff out, we started doing constant contact email alerts where if we have a program coming up, you sign up to receive our notifications and you're notified of what's going on. I think program awareness, and not just in the library department, I've talked with Lauren Monroe at the Rec Center, how do we get people aware of what we're doing?
Well, what you are doing.
What are people using? Are they on their phone and checking email? Are they, going to a website? Are they looking in the paper? How can we get this? I mean, we're having these great programs. How do we inform people?
Hopefully doing I Want to Know helps with that.
There you go.
It's one
I
avenue
hope
anyway.
so, yes.
What pressing issues do you think we have long-term or short-term?
I would
Other than
say
outreach, I would say is one of them.
that is something we're definitely working on. To be honest, I would love to increase staffing, not just rely on bare minimum. We have 2 people in the library. That's great. We can't do as much with 2 people as we could with more staffing.
Sure.
We could do more outreach. We can go into the community more, visit homebound patrons. So staffing would be nice. That would certainly help. it would
help
allow
fulfill
us
the need that
to
you
do
have.
more.
You have, now this is something I'm totally into. You have a 3D printer, correct?
We do.
Can you tell everybody about this 3D printer because it's so super cool?
So each library has one. It was the beginning of our makerspace, which we're still working on, which is a collaborative area where you can experiment and create and design and just play around. And how the 3D printer works is you have this file that you send to this 3D printer, and it creates a 3D object for you.
Out of medium density fiber?
It's
or
like
MDF
a
or?
plastic filament,
Okay.
actually, and it's heated up to a certain temperature. So it comes in these spools, different colors,
Okay.
and it gets heated up to a certain temperature. I don't know what it is, and then it comes out of an extruder, and it literally looks like this, and it's amazing.
That is awesome.
We had, I should have brought one in for you. We had,
No, I'm going to have to go see it now.
you can come see it. We did Passport to Libraries in April, and it was a great way for residents in Connecticut to visit various libraries in the state. And each library was supposed to give a little trinket, and we made little reed keychains out of our 3D printer, which I thought was pretty cool.
Yes.
So that's something you can do.
Okay.
You can make a 3D object from a file that you've either designed or taken off the internet.
Can you design it in the library, or do you have to do it off-site?
There are certain programs that you can access for free,
Okay.
And design that way.
Okay.
Sure.
Otherwise, there's ways of doing it off-site on your own computer,
Right.
and then inputting it
Sure.
into
You
the
can bring in a
printer.
file with a flash drive and just hook it into the computer, into the printer that way.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
That's a way of drawing people like me in, that's for sure.
It always, whenever we have it running, people always ask about it.
So you've lived in town your entire life.
I have.
What do you like most about the town?
I have to say, now working in the town that I live in, there's
Which I think
this-
is very special, actually.
It is
That's a
very
really nice-
special, and it wasn't a focus of when I took this job. A sense of connection.
The benefit of it, yeah.
I have run into more people that I have not seen in a very long time, from previous neighbors, former teachers. My kindergarten teacher is a library user. The woman that bought the house I grew up in. It's a very comforting sense of familiarity that we're all connected somehow.
Right.
Even if you've lived in this town for a very short period of time, it's very easy to make connections and to have that sense of
Warmth and support.
yeah, it's wonderful.
Right.
So I enjoy that aspect. It's an added bonus that I wasn't expecting.
Right, right.
So.
Well, I would like to thank you so much for your time and
Thank
everything
you.
you're doing for our community. I really value it, and I'm sure the people that know you value it as well, and the people, hopefully, more people will get to know what you're doing.
It's a pleasure. We really honestly enjoy doing
What are the hours of the library, real quick? The libraries.
Monday through Thursday, 10 to 8, Friday, 9 to 6, and Saturdays, right now we're on summer Saturdays, so it's 9 to 12 until beginning of September. Otherwise, it's 9 to 3 on Saturdays.
Will you be open on Sundays during the wintertime?
Sundays, 1 to 4,
Okay.
starting in October through March.
Fantastic. That's great. Well, thank you very much for joining us. And thank you all for joining us for this episode of I Want to Know. I'd like to make this show as interactive as possible, so please email me at danarminnb@gmail.com with any questions or observations you may have. Please help sustain Tutucket TV, which supports our town in television, and support Tutucket Times, which supports our town in print. Thank you very much.